I am finally back after a month of wanting to post but not posting and finally having the time to post. I am back. Now, today we're going to be covering, honestly, a YouTube channel that I think a lot of people would assume I hate, but I really don't. Actually, I am subscribed to him. However, he has some really bad takes, in my opinion, and I like to debate him. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Remember when Xbox back in 2017 had 6 studios? Yes, and one of those 6 studios, they didn't really develop games, they just found games and put it under Xbox Global Publishing. Now in 2024, there are over 32 studios that develop games for Xbox.
And despite that, in 2017, they were releasing better and more solid products that were more complete. They had less studios, and yet they were releasing more games. They had more exclusives. It genuinely makes no sense how Microsoft went backwards with more studios. They've acquired so many, they've invested with so much money, and yet they can't deliver. It is a serious problem that Phil Spencer has not, seemingly has not addressed in any way, shape, or form, or any of the other people in power. Just nobody's addressing the severe problem that they aren't releasing anything.
What's going on with Xbox? Yesterday, we got some news that Xbox has 7 of the top 25 games on PlayStation Store.
It really is one of those things where you've got to question, what has these developers been doing? Because those aren't new games from Microsoft, and they're not new games from Sony. What could these developers be doing? You've invested so much money, and yet you haven't seen a return in this generation. What's going on? How are these console developers not looking into this? How are they not publicly shaming their developers? At some point, you've got to step in. Or maybe the management of the games are flawed because of the top guys, and in that case, you gotta start considering moving on from these guys. Phil Spencer has not been able to deliver products on a consistent basis. If he can't do that, he's gotta go. Same with Jim Ryan. He's already leaving, to be fair, but if you can't deliver products, you can't stay. That's how business works, and this console generation has been honestly downright pathetic.
7. Listen, guys, I understand that Fallout was an established franchise before Xbox bought them. I understand that Call of Duty was an established franchise before Xbox bought them. But I don't give a damn. They bought them. That's like if you have a house, you bought a house. The previous owner, listen, man, they might have updated the house. They might have put some nice things in the house. But you bought it, so now it's your house.
That is a terrible comparison, but I get where you're trying to go. You're trying to say that Microsoft is benefiting more than PlayStation because they own the games. However, I disagree. I think the simple fact is that Sony gets 30% of that, and that is a win for Sony. That is a hands-down win for Sony. They get 30% of those massive cuts from their major competitor. So either way, both companies are winning in this scenario. There is no loser despite you wanting there to be one.
People want to cry. Look, man, Xbox has a strategy. I say this all of the time. Some people might not fully be behind their strategy 100%, but it is a strategy that Microsoft is doing, and I believe it's going to work.
I disagree completely. I think in the grand scheme of things, the strategy will not work. It's not sustainable for Microsoft. Well, they have money printing machines, basically. That's not what I mean by that. I mean, how long does a corporation continue to burn money with no return? Well, they're not getting a return anytime soon. Simple fact is they're going to fire Phil Spencer relatively soon if he doesn't turn it around and Game Pass doesn't start to grow. If none of those things happen, Phil Spencer's out, they're going to bring somebody new in, and if that new guy can't succeed, they're going to move away from consoles. Now, no matter what, they're going to have to be in the gaming industry. They just won't make their money back on their developers. They just simply won't, so they will hold on to them and continue to make games. However, they're not going to make consoles for long. If Phil Spencer fails and the guy they bring in to replace him fails, they will leave the console market, which means their strategy had failed.
So, with that being said, ponies, how in the blue hell are you guys going to sit up here and let Xbox dominate PlayStation Store charts? It's funny how it works because in reality, I think it's funny that Xbox owned IPs are dominating PlayStation charts. Hell, didn't you guys tell us at the start of the year how PlayStation has these bangers?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Well, you say, how could PlayStation players let Xbox games dominate their store? Well, because nobody gives a flying fuck who made the game as long as the game is good. And the simple fact is, most PlayStation players do not give a flying fuck about console wars, neither does Xbox players. They want good games, they want them on the platform they prefer, and they're willing to pay no matter what. Just because Microsoft's name on it doesn't mean that, well, Fallout isn't a fantastic franchise. People want to play Fallout. People want to watch the Fallout TV series just because of Microsoft's name on it. And just because I own a PlayStation doesn't mean I can't do it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to love it. That is how people look at it. Just because you believe in this nonsense doesn't mean everybody else has to.
You guys said, yo, they don't need first party because they got these bangers. Yeah, Foam Stars, right? Foam Stars was a banger. Okay, Helldivers actually did pretty well, but everybody and their mother knows that PC carried Helldivers too. But you know, I'm not hating. Helldivers did well. What about Rise of Ronin, that PS3 game? Oh, that was one of the bangers that you guys said, right? I mean, that's what y'all told me. You said, Dirt, we have bangers coming in 2024.
Now hold on, Dirt. I think you're not giving them enough credit here. Foam Stars may be one of, if not the greatest games I've ever played. I have never wanted to look at titties that are not real more than those. Those were some well-drawn tits, and I will not take this level of disrespect towards one of my favorite games. That is Game of the Year material. Please, watch your mouth.
How about, how about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Wasn't that one of the bangers that was guaranteed to be a hit? I'm just going by you guys' words. You guys, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is guaranteed to be a hit. No, not so much. It's up to Stellar Yams. She better show her ass. Literally.
You know what, Dur? You made up for your previous disrespect of Foam Stars. You're now talking my love language here. If you're going to bring up maybe the greatest, if not the greatest game to ever be created, now you've got me talking. I've never been so distracted by a video game before in my entire life. You put me behind that screen, I'm not moving. That ass could bounce, and please, please don't be disrespecting my favorite games.
Because that's the only game y'all have the rest of the year. Well, I can't speak too soon. Maybe Concord comes out. Maybe Silent Hill 2 comes out, right? But that's what you guys have for the rest of the year. And meanwhile, Xbox, we have Hellblade 2. We have Avowed. We have Stalker 2. We have Indiana Jones. We even have smaller games like Towerborn. So it's possible that you guys are going to announce some smaller games that's dropping this year, and that's cool.
Now, Dirt, let me ask you a question real quick. Does Towerborn have titties? I didn't think so, and that's my only argument.
He loves King Thrash and all those other guys. He tags King Thrash, Sumo, and Wapzilla. He tags them under this article because he thinks it's a huge W for PlayStation. And Wapzilla responds, Microsoft finally found that bag they were looking for on PlayStation. Yeah, these guys think they're so witty and so funny. That shit wasn't funny.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
Terry Henderson said, facts. Shut your punk ass up.
Alright, let's get serious again. I know I made a couple of jokes in a row, but let's actually get serious. Again, this is a win for PlayStation. The fact that Microsoft is making a bag on PlayStation means PlayStation's making a bag on PlayStation. Microsoft making a bag on somebody else's console means 30% of that bag is going to PlayStation. That's my only argument to tell you that, well, it's a win for PlayStation and a win for Microsoft.
We went from them denying Xbox would ever go third party to celebrating how well their games are selling on PlayStation in a matter of 5 months. Kratos, now I'm not sure if he's a pony or he's an Xbox guy. I'm assuming he's a pony because of his name and his profile pic, but he said, we went from them denying PlayStation would never release games on PC and inevitably day and date to now saying it's completely okay if games go on PC. He has a great point. He has a fantastic point. That's exactly what happened.
You want to know why that happened? Because these companies don't give a flying fuck about no console wars. All they care about is the fact that they're going to make an absolute bag off of you guys. Now, the only thing they care about is, if you're going to stay loyal to me, well, then let me shove you everything I can possibly make you pay for down your fucking throat. That is what corporations are good at. They're not good at making you love them. They're good at making you spend money. So stop fucking fanboying these companies, man the fuck up, and realize that they're just trying to make you spend your fucking money. Now that'll do it for me. I'm being a little harsh in this video, and it may be a little rushed. The quality might not be as good as it normally is, or around where it normally is, but, I tried my best. First video back, it isn't great. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, I'm out of here.